I'm refreshing the page just to check.
Yeah. Be sure you run the game maker. Yeah.
Yeah, we're live. Hey,
I can hear
Eric, we're live, but guess what? Our mics are open.
This video is brought to you by Game Maker, the friendly indie game engine built for beginners and professionals alike. Making your own game can seem like a daunting venture, like trying to eat a movie theater hot dog in the dark. But thanks to Game Maker's project-based learning resources, even a novice can create games from start to finish, increasing their coding proficiency along the way. The Game Maker YouTube channel hosts a variety of step-by-step guides to help you craft your first RPG, platformer, puzzle game, and more. You can also find written tutorials on the Game Maker website. Reference the Game Maker manual for additional tips and tricks, or consult fellow devs in the Game Maker Discord server and at community meetups. Why, it's just like adding glow-in-the-dark mustard to that sneaky little hot dog. Whether you're an experienced programmer or just starting out, Game Maker has all the right resources to make sure you relish your game development journey. Head on over to the link in the description and bite into game making today.
Don't pull anything.
Hello, and welcome to DevHeads. And Tina immediately broke the pose. Welcome to DevHeads, everyone. The podcast focused on the ins, outs, and goings on of game development with host experience ranging from indie, double to AAA. I'm Jay, and as always, I'm joined by my wonderful co-host Tina.
Hi, I'm AAA. Wait,
and Mikee.
Hi, I'm AA. We've got the giggles because we're very proud of our thumbnail. That's why.
Yes.
That's what it is. Tina is just impersonating her own face.
in honor of our main topic
pretty
today,
accurate.
which is DLSS 5. We've done the on and off comparisons with our cartoon characters and the AI interpretation of them being more human and sexy. And it got so human that it closed Tina's eyes and gave her massive bodong honkeros. It's crazy.
Yeah, Tina's looking real good.
I mean, it's pretty accurate, I
hair.
think.
Yeah, you put them next to each other.
I wanted to share in my best DLSS 5 voice what DLSS stands for, and it's Deep Learning Super Sampling.
Oh my god! Yeah,
Jay, you look so pained.
This is a touchy topic. I think it's going to be a really good one for today. But before we get into all of the juice of the DLSS 5 nonsense, we got a couple of things that I'd like to go over, that we'd all like to go over, because they're pertaining to some of the things we've spoken about in the last episodes. This one, however, is not. It's brand new, but it's something that Tina brought to us that is very, very interesting, which is that the FBI are investigating malware game distribution on Steam, which is wild. This was hot off the presses when Tina brought it. It's a troubling revelation that some of the games on Steam that you've been paying for with your hard-earned money or downloading for free are malware.
Yeah.
And the FBI are putting out a call to get any more information on games that might be doing these nefarious things. So yeah, this is an interesting one. What do you think this means, guys, for the verification process with Steam?
I'm
Yeah,
only giggling because of the funniness of that transition. Like, don't we look hot in the AI picture? Anyway,
Someone
the federal
call the
government would like to let you know that.
And that Kris Jenner meme.
You
So
go
there's
first,
actually
Tina.
a list that they found, right, of games that are malware, that are impersonating games that you could have purchased or downloaded. Block Blasters, what a name! Is it Chemia? Chemia. Chemia. Chemia.
Yeah, Chemia.
Dash Verse / Dash FPS. Lampy.
Lampy, you
Lunara.
scum.
Yeah, Lunara, Pirate Fi, and Tokenova.
I'm gonna write them
Tokenova,
down for people in the
Yeah.
chat. So if you have one of these games installed, uninstall it, and also look at mitigation. Google what you can do there, because you should not have that on your machine.
Yes. I've never seen any of these games. They may be free like slop games, but they have been identified as malware, and the FBI are looking for more information on any other games that that may be doing this, and also how you were contacted, how you managed to get this game, stuff like that. But I think this is an interesting one for realizing that the Steam verification process isn't really looking for any of this stuff. It's getting through any
I'm
of their
actually surprised
checks.
by that.
Yeah.
Because I think just as a gamer, you have Steam and you just assume everything you're looking at in their library or store are available and games. Right? And I don't know if they've made it too easy for people to just upload whatever they want, but it seems like, in my opinion, Valve should step up and figure out how to tackle this. I mean, it is their platform.
And they have the money. Right.
Erica in the chat says that there were cases of legit games being infected too.
Wow.
And Eric's going to look for recent examples. Really? That's insane.
But yeah, this there's actually this link that I'm going to share in the chat for everyone, which is from the FBI website. I feel weird sending an FBI government link. This is just so you can report things if you encounter anything. I've just posted that in the chat. So if you do know of any games that you've encountered that have been doing this, it's actually really important to go and report this stuff, so we can, like, Steam and the FBI can actually jump on this the best they can to protect gamers' PCs, because this opens up a whole Pandora's box of what potential games could do to your PC. And getting this stamped out quick is really, really important. So go check it out. Don't put in any false claims or anything, you absolute scum. Just be a good boy.
In the chat, Speakeasy says, I heard a way some devs are uploading malware is also first they upload a clean game and then add the malware on a patch update, which is, it's very easy to patch your game on Steam.
Yeah,
So
frankly,
they
I'm
might be
surprised it
getting
took this.
past the verification.
I'm surprised it took this long to have something this. I guess the federal government moves as it does, right? Like it's hard to catch on to new technologies, but it feels like something that must have been a problem before when I was first reading about this.
Eric, do you want to share what you found?
Yeah, it says here in the chat, legit games being infected. One from last week was, gotcha game distributes malware, apologizes with 10 free pulls. It was called Do It Night Abyss. I'll write that out. We're sorry. Here, gamble.
There could be an argument made that gacha games are themselves a form of malware.
More of like a mind malware, I suppose.
It's a psychic malware. I've just pissed off a handful of people in chat, but whatever.
Can I tell you guys a freaky, speaking of like, well, this is more of a hacker thing, I guess, or maybe not malware. When I was a kid and I was playing on weird Counter-Strike 1.6 servers, playing on custom map servers in the dead of night, I think I was playing with a friend. One of the people on the server was able to open up my CD drive while I was playing. And that freaked me out because that's a very physical manifestation, right, of something happening. It's one thing to be like, oh, I closed your game. Oh, I made a pop-up appear on your screen. My drive opened up and I was like, what the hell? And I closed it, thought it was nothing. And they opened it up again. And I talked in the server and I said, I'm sorry, guys, like what's going on here? And the guy said, sorry, I was just messing with this thing that I found. I'll stop. And that was it.
That's crazy. What if like it opened and a gun flipped out and it said, give me your money?
Gun goes out.
It's terrifying.
Give me $500. Put $500 cash in the tray.
They put a bunch of Giga Chad NFTs on your drive.
Oh no. My
NFTs. Like
NFTs.
2002 or something, man. Not 2002. It was pretty early in the early 2000s.
Yeah, so tell your friends if you play on Steam. Just something to be aware of and keep your eye out for.
And if you do play PC games and you don't play on Steam, where are you playing? Is it GOG? We got any of that GOG malware? We got any of that Ubisoft Connect malware?
Oh, nice segue.
Shit! Malware. I didn't even mean to do that. I was going to do a much more powerful segue by saying let's talk about something fun, or not so fun. Ubisoft, unfortunately, again, it does not stop. Has announced layoffs and the cease of game development at Red Storm Entertainment, who are largely responsible for a lot of the Tom Clancy games you may have played in the past. A lot of their recent projects have been either cancelled or put on ice, and this is probably what led to the entire studio being shut down. They were working on a spin-off of the Division Heartland. And they were also working on an untitled Splinter Cell VR game, which was cancelled in 2022. And then before that, we have Assassin's Creed Nexus VR, so more VR games, Werewolves Within, and then a bunch of Tom Clancy games. It's just really sad to see such an OG team going all the way back to 1997 be shut down by Ubisoft, rather than putting them to work on something that you'll actually see. Because if we look, they have been working on the last thing they properly released was 2023, and their next two projects were both cancelled. So that's a big suck. I'll be real.
Yeah, this one hits me personally, kind of like the Monolith one, where like when Monolith shut down. Being such a big fan of their games, I'm having like a similar emotional effect, but it's like a little worse because let's keep in mind, for anybody there who has played like a military FPS game or appreciated one, this studio did it first, right? August 21st, 1998, my birthday actually, the original Rainbow Six released. And I think like a couple months after that, Nova Logic in October 21st, it says here, 1998 released theirs. Delta Force was like more of a bigger voxel-based, explicitly military shooter. Rainbow Six was more of like a counter-terrorist, paramilitary, I guess, police shooter, not really. And these were the first ones, like as far as I can tell, in the FPS world. And if not the first, they were the most formative for the genre. And to know that the studio that did that, even though those people are probably not there, maybe some of them still are, to know that a lot of them are not there, or excuse me, that the studio is not there anymore, kind of sucks, even though it's been a while. And also that's on top of it sucking that just like over 100 people just lost their jobs, probably certainly through no fault of their own.
Yeah, unfortunately, sucky things coming out of Ubisoft seems to be the norm as of late.
Publisher just keeps crumbling. It's sad.
Yeah, I don't know. Man.
I always thought of them as like the most global of all publishers. You know, they just had studios in different regions and
yeah.
What were you gonna say?
All over the world,
Mikey?
Everywhere.
What were you gonna say?
Just that, like, for me personally, because I obviously got into the industry through like military shooters. Rogue Spear was a big inspiration for the original Insurgency. There were other inspirations, Day of Defeat, right? Like Operation Flashpoint, like a lot of these old military shooters. But like, it hurts to just see the legacy of like one of the things that you were inspired by, like as a kid gamer and as a developer, just evaporating. Even if, again, there's not a lot of the people that are still there and they moved on. Something about that hurts. You know, loss sucks, I guess, no matter what.
Yeah. Well, speaking of losing, why don't we go to winning? You like that segue, Tina?
I'd love to elevate my mood. Go for it.
We've spoken about in the past the Subnautica team and their lawsuit with Krafton. It's been an ongoing process. We didn't really know which way the hammer was going to fall. But in news, team, fresh off the presses a few days ago. The judge that was presiding over this ordered Subnautica 2 studio CEO that was fired by Krafton to be reinstated and gives them full control over early access Steam launch. Fuck yes.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing news. That publisher got their ass handed to them by the law. We like that. That's awesome. Get fucked.
So to rewind a little bit, Subnautica's publisher had a deal with Krafton that basically said you get this large sum of money if you deliver the game on time. And they were on track to do that. And then Krafton decided, holy crap, we shouldn't pay this bonus that we promised them. I guess they couldn't afford it, or that it was just outrageous to them, I guess, at that point. But why make the deal then to begin with? Anyways, it was a deal made. A deal's a deal, right? They were going to deliver the game. And then Krafton did whatever they could in their power to try to delay the game so that they didn't have to pay the developers what they were owed in the original deal. So they fired the CEO. Now he's coming back because it was an unjust firing. And the other cherry on top of all this is I read somewhere that the CEO of Krafton used ChatGPT or some AI program to give him advice legally on what to do against the developers. And that all just fell through. So
that's so funny.
Yeah,
there's a lot of ChatGPT nonsense in all of this. With one of the things we got here, I think Tina's largely gone over this. The publisher had originally claimed Gil and the other co-founders were fired for failing to get Subnautica ready for timely launch, as Tina said. It later switched to arguing that the co-founders had unknowingly been working on other projects and tried to steal unauthorized material prior to their firing. The court rejected both of these claims. Krafton,
Sorry, quick interjection. That latter case, I think, was a part of the one with Iron Mace and Dark and Darker, right? Remember they had their game taken off of Steam briefly. Feel free to chime in the chat if you remember, but I think that was a case they made too to try to get at them for Dark and Darker. They're like, oh, well, you actually were working on other projects or stole assets or something like that. And I don't think it worked for them either, but I could be wrong on that.
It's really, really weird. I think with the whole Krafton situation, they were talking about the devs had taken material because they saw the writing on the wall and downloaded files from the game so they would have it locally for whatever happened, and they didn't release any of it. It was all kept confidential, so it wasn't a breach of any kind of contract, I believe. And the quote, I believe, from the judge is, Krafton breached the EPA by terminating the key employees without valid cause and by improperly seizing operational control of unknown worlds. So, mental. This is really good. It was a big downer for me. Not that I would ever play Subnautica 2 because I'm terrified of the ocean. But it was really disappointing to me that we saw such a popular title. Subnautica is a really, really good survival crafting game. See it kind of going down the drain in a lot of people's eyes because of this whole situation of how terrible Krafton had treated their developers. But like, my question is now, is it still being published by Krafton?
I don't think there's any reason it wouldn't be, especially if they want to get their shmoney.
Yeah, the devs have got, and the court was also ordered to pay the bonuses that they said they weren't going to do. So they've been ordered to do that. So the devs are going to be taken care of. But my concern is that if I bought this game, my money would still be going to Krafton largely. This kind of scummy.
I mean, it's still going to the devs too. So it's one of those things that I had to learn. I think working in AAA is one of the things you're confronted with initially is just like good versus bad, and how there's a lot of gray area, right? Especially in AAA dev and working as a developer. I won't go into I'll go into some detail. Like, my first dev experience was at a studio where their original studio heads were fired unjustly, right? And took a bunch of their devs with them to start Respawn. So I was already confronted with that, like, morality Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? And I appreciate when people take a stake in the sand and say this is good, this is bad. But buying Subnautica 2 at this point, it's hard for me to say that it's bad to buy it because
I'm not saying it's bad. I just don't want much money going to Crafton.
sure, it's not as easy as saying, in my mind, like Crafton, no money should go to Crafton, right? Like as a developer, I still want the developers to feel support, and they happen to just have a business deal with a publisher that did them dirty, but the government or the law
Fixed it.
did the right thing. So, business is business. I would encourage people to still buy the game.
If you want it. Yeah. I'm not trying to encourage people not to. I was just hoping that it would not be published by them anymore. But hey,
It reminds me of our conversation before. We were talking about people who didn't like what happened with EA, right? And the Saudi investment and that kind of thing. Every consumer should do their research and think about where their money is going. But also, I think, if I'm hearing you right, Tina, and I kind of agree, like, you're not going to know exactly where every dollar is going. Like, do your due diligence, but also be comfortable with your money going to places that might not make you very comfortable. I mean, it's just, I guess it's more of a question of like, be prepared to be a little disappointed. Might be it, because your money might be going towards something you don't like or a person that you don't like.
I feel like, I mean, that's a good thing to think about, but it's also, I don't know. I just think that it's a lesson that we all have to do through everything in life and not just games. But it just comes up the most in games.
Because it's more explicit and knowable and researchable, right? All the different companies that own this and that, as opposed to like buying fruit in the market and going like, I wonder, I hope nothing exploitative happened to bring this to me.
Can I tell you about milk? Holy shit.
Okay.
You can discuss, You
got the hot goss on milk? Go ahead.
They in order to get milk from cows, they take the cow's baby away from them after they're born. So that they can take the milk from the moms. So they can sell it to people. And it's like a really fucking sad thing to see a cow chasing their baby being taken away from them.
Oh yeah, it's terrible.
We really did a number on animals as humanity. It's true.
Well, I'm laughing because I'm sad.
Because then they'll raise those babies and then they'll kill them, right? So we can eat them. The animal industry is extremely exploitative.
Cheese and butter and chocolate and ice cream. Oh my god, you can't live without.
But that's effectively what Crafton did. They took the cap away from the Subnautica team, and they said, "Give us milk. If you give us milk, we'll give you your baby back." And then they said, well, you didn't produce enough milk, so no baby. And then they went, please, government, save us. And they went, yeah, give them that baby back. So all in all, buy Subnautica 2 if you want to. Did that analogy make sense?
Yes.
No, I think that worked. I think that fit very well.
All right, cool. I think that worked too. Cool.
All right, next. What's next?
Well, next is speaking of ChatGPT, and the Crafton CEO trying to fire people through AI. We have our main topic, which has been on everyone's lips this week. We were very excited to talk about this, which is the DLSS 5 AI enhancement feature from NVIDIA, which was showcased at the time very famously by Digital Foundry. And first of all, before we go into this, I want to kind of talk about what this is, because we're going to be able to show a little bit of it on screen, which does the best job of kind of showing you what it is. But to describe it for the listeners, what it is effectively a technology that NVIDIA are using to relight, as they say, and I'm using quotation marks here, relight scenes in games. So the big example was Grace Ashcroft from, I think it's Ashford, I don't fucking know, in Resi 9, and the stark difference in how she is portrayed visually is kind of striking, and it's relit kind of every single aspect of her, and that includes the background and all of the other NPCs and stuff like that. But a lot of what it's done as well is completely reshaped Grace's face. And
Dude, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I think sparked a lot of the whiplash that NVIDIA received, rightfully so, from a bunch of developers and gamers. Her lips are plumper, right?
Yeah, they're bigger, yeah.
The phrase, the terms that the young folks are using is yesifying her. Yesifying her. I've heard someone say that it's an incel shader, which is kind of funny and messed up.
It's like when the grifters ask AI to take a game character and make them hot. Is like that's what it looks like. It's like sexified her face, which is for me really disturbing. I think it's grim.
Well, yeah, I definitely want to help follow, yes, what your outline for us in this conversation. But I have a lot to say too. Oh, and 100%. So does our chat. We got some fan funding as well.
Oh, let's go through some of those. Let me just pop those up. Okay, we got 3. We got Resident Tuny, $5. Thank you so much, bud. Says, can't catch this live, but I just want to send some love because I saw the thumbnail and it's absolutely sending me.
Can we show everyone the thumbnail?
Yeah, if we can bring the thumbnail back up, Eric. This AI bubble cannot pop soon enough. Preach, brother. Thank you so much for the dono. We also got Rax Elias. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Gave $2 and says DLSS 5J is fine as fuck. Love y'all. I want to say thanks, but it's not me. So he would say thanks. He'd probably say yes. Far Too Many Frogs gives $5 and says, hey, RE, the EA buyout. There's currently an opposition campaign by Players Alliance HQ to try and put a stop to it. I've been doing videos for them. Oh, awesome. Okay, well, that's something to look into. Thank you for that. And Mikhail Hudson, Zerafarum, gives $5 Canadian and says, yo, somehow when Jay said lips with the right emphasis, I just got a lipstick and a third eyebrow. Cool. What is this, AI? Here we go. And also Mirif D, what's up, Mirif? $2 says...
Perfect question.
Perfect question. What are the system requirements for DLSS 5? So...
Mikey?
Yeah. Mikey, go into the system requirements.
I made it. I'm glad it worked well, but our title was something that I proposed. that NVIDIA says you could be hot for 250-90s. Yeah, I can't remember exactly because that was just me joking around. But I think what we saw was the product of 250. Tina, you're laughing. What's up?
It's like for 2 expensive S graphics cards, you two could be hot.
Correct me if I'm wrong, because I was just fucking joking around. But I think 250-90s is what produced what we saw.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
I also don't know. Like, I thought that there was a subscription service that you would have to sign up for, and then it could be or even would be done remotely. I wasn't sure about that one either.
By the way, I looked up how much an NVIDIA RTX 5090 is right now. On Newegg, there's one for $3,799.
And that price is only going to increase as time progresses because of the hardware shortages. So we're closing in on at least a 10 grand plus PC to be.
You two can be for 10 grand. Like, give me the what's her name? Kris Jenner treatment. You know, just like pull my face to my asshole. I want to look pretty. Sorry.
Yeah, it's super, super expensive. And also one of the things they neglected to show in any of the previews that they showed, which I believe Eric will pull up for us, they neglected to show, they did show some, but they didn't show much movement.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't know about you guys, if you've ever played a video game in chat and you two in the call. Video games do sometimes move. And when they do, it can be pretty frantic. I don't know if you've ever seen this. Have you ever played what's the game that moves a lot? Have you ever played a Mirrored Edge or a Vampire Survivors? They be moving. Right?
Whoa, that's
I'm thinking of Vampire Survivors with like yassified sexy
DLSS 5 on. That would be fucking What would
Yeah,
that look like?
it's crazy
Nightmare.
because you found a post just this morning, right, Jay? Or actually, am I
Yes.
jumping to the end? I don't want to jump to
No,
that.
no, you're. Yeah, before we can jump around. It doesn't really matter. We can talk about the reaction to because this goes into some of the problems with this is Digital Foundry released this video, and the fan reaction was violent.
To Digital Foundry specifically.
To Digital Foundry and just the concept of this in general,
And
but
to
a lot of
NVIDIA,
the hate
yeah.
was being thrown at Digital Foundry because people viewed it as them shilling for this thing and shilling for AI and stuff like that. I don't personally view it like that. I feel like they were just getting excited about tech. I also know what it's like to go to press events and get excited about the thing that's being shown to you, but then you get that that refrigerator test moment where you're like, well, actually, if I think about it, that thing I saw was slop. That was bad. But in the moment when you're surrounded by, all these people that made the thing and stuff like that, you get caught up in the hype, and I can see how they could do that. But like Digital Foundry were getting death threats. They were like, a lot of the hate was being thrown at them. I don't think that's fair
cool.
to Digital Foundry. I think you can hate on NVIDIA all you want, but I think these guys are just reporting on it. Like, they're not trying to sell it to you. They're just reporting.
Interesting
I think
is
there was a little-
in my career, this is the first time I think I've seen backlash towards any new tech from NVIDIA. Am I right on that, Mikey, Jay?
I think so.
People didn't really
yeah.
like. No, I guess you're right. I was about to say something that would have been accurate when NVIDIA was trying to push people to like sign up for an account when they want to download new drivers. I think was a push, but that's not tech, right? That's just an interface thing.
Yeah.
Players didn't like that, but that's the only other thing I could think of aside from like GPUs being expensive over the years. Besides right now, like what's happening last year and this year. And no, I think you're right. I can't think of any tech that people were like, no way, this isn't it, NVIDIA, as strongly as this. It's a new experience for them, I think, which is unfortunate because it's definitely a negative one.
Yeah.
I think as far as Digital Foundry's thing goes, I think it's kind of legitimate to say they were, I guess, sort of to be like glazing it a bit. I get the being excited about new tech is fine, and they were being optimistic, and they probably had a different interpretation of what this would lead to. And they talk about it in the video of just how impressive it is technically. Yeah. Which sure makes sense because of Digital Foundry. But also, I think you have to think about it from the angle that all the gamers and developers are thinking of it, which is like, this could be artistically bad or useless for various reasons, which we'll get into when we talk about the CEO's defense of it.
Just from a game developer's perspective, right? If you're an artist and you make a model and you see some sort of 2D filter that just makes, especially a female character, look more physically attractive to the male gaze specifically.
Yeah.
It's sort of it's an offense. Like, I would take offense to it, right?
I would.
In this particular case, I like immediately thought, okay, like this isn't cool to the art director, the art team, because if they wanted that, they would have done it themselves.
It would have been modeled like that, yeah.
And another example I could think of is like, I remember a specific moment working on Apex Legends where somebody brought up that the female characters weren't hot enough for launch. They're like, where's the curves, where's the boobs, whatever. Like, they didn't say that, but that's what they were asking for.
What did they say? Because I'm curious what the
HR speak.
Yeah, what was that? What was that subtle manner they tried to communicate that?
The argument that this person made was that the female characters were not attractive enough for our audience, and people wouldn't want to play them, which I think is total BS. Right?
That's pretty unsubtle,
like,
actually.
Well, but they didn't, and they were like, make them. I forgot the percentage number. Like, make them 15% hotter. And I was like, what? Like, I can add, like, you know, like,
How do you do that?
giant Adam's apple? Like, what are you talking about? This is subjective.
I'm just going to make one of the breasts slightly bigger. That's
yeah,
it.
one
Just
hangs
like,
lower than the other.
sounds
Like,
it
I
was
don't
a low
know.
percentage,
But,
Tina. But they gave
huh?
a low percentage is what you said you're not sure if it was 15%, but it sounds like
Or
they gave
50
a
or
low
something.
one.
I don't know. But
Oh, 50 even. Okay.
But the point is like, I could see a situation where maybe like a dev team stands behind their art, their characters, and an executive says no, and then uses this against their will to like do a trailer or something, and then they're kind of locked into changing it. Like I could see like a nefarious use for it, and I think that
100%.
and that was where my head went when I initially saw this, because I don't know, it's just so strange. It's so strange.
There's with all of that, there's a lot to unpack, because going back to the fan reaction, a lot of people online were posting really, really funny memes of before and after comparisons with
Some of them
certain
were
games.
fake. But some of
Yeah,
them are
no,
real.
but I mean,
Some
a lot
are
of
fake.
them, nearly all of them are fake. They're all just people
just
taking
really
the
funny.
piss.
Yeah.
But they are really, really funny. But with this, apparently there have been reports that everyone at big tech companies, especially NVIDIA, absolutely despise having their things described as slop, like AI slop. They really dislike it, mainly because they've put billions into this, and NVIDIA especially have made boatloads of money. Starships of money selling GPUs for AI farms. So they really want this to work, because that's how they're making all of the
Look at that meme.
all of their money.
Sorry, Eric.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Is that one of the Bodoff twins?
Oh my god.
So, and the CEO of NVIDIA came out and basically said, well, first of all, they're completely wrong. So everyone's speculating how all of this worked, that it was an AI filter. The NVIDIA CEO came to say, Huang said that everyone's completely wrong. The reason for all of this, what's visually happening, is because, as I've explained very carefully, DLSS 5 fuses controllability of the geometry and textures and everything about the game with generative AI. But turns out, apparently, that's not true. Daniel Owen did an interview or an email chain with somebody who works at NVIDIA, and they discovered that on closer inspection that what this is a 2D AI filter. So effectively what it's taking is a screenshot, basically. Then it's using vector motion, so predicting where the frame's going to move next based on input and the data from the game, to then calculate what the next frame will look like. So what it is a fucking 2D AI filter over your game.
Yep.
So it does nothing to do with the geometry. It does nothing to do with like the PBR properties or the normals or anything like that. It just bakes it on top of it, which is really interesting, because they said it doesn't change anything to do with the models. But if you can pull it up, there it is. Eric, you're amazing. With this example with Starfield, on the right with the DLSS 5 on, it gives the character hair on the side of his head where he didn't have it before, which is a change of geometry. But they're saying it doesn't change geometry, and that's because it doesn't. What it's doing is it's putting a filter over it that has said, the AI goes, well, this guy should have hair here because all of the data I'm trained on says that this thing should have hair.
It's hotter.
The same with the same with Grace. Oh, she should have bigger lips and have a like buccal fat removed because that's how all of the fucking porn bots I'm trained on look like. So we're gonna do that. So that's what it is. It's there's also an example of where in the Starfield clips it took some of the cups in the background that seemed to be made of like ceramic with some metallic bands, two metallic bands on them, and the AI filter went, no, they're metal, and just changed them to be all metal, because that's what it decided to do because the data is trained on, right?
I'm having a little trouble because I've read through his quote. He says a couple good quotes that I'm glad we're talking about now, because I want to kind of deconstruct him. He says the reason for that is because, as I explained very carefully, as you said,
He is the NVIDIA CEO?
Yeah.
Okay,
The NVIDIA CEO, Jensen Huang, I think is how it's pronounced.
Yeah.
Fuses controllability of the geometry and textures and everything about the game with generative AI. I don't know about you guys. That feels like it could have 5 different interpretations. My interpretation of that is by controllability, he means our AI will affect geometry, like, the mesh, the model.
It will appear to affect
textures.
geometry. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And everything. But then he says, and everything about the game with generative AI. So I don't know what that means. I guess sounds like I'm not sure. But he goes on
CEO
to say,
talk,
It's just
what I think it turns into is a proposal that I'm not sure anybody asked for. So let me continue with the quote. He says that they can fine tune the generative AI. It's not post processing. It's not post processing at the frame level. It's generative control at the geometry level. Basically making this point that he says here, all of that is in the direct control of the game developer. But here's the thing for me, I guess, like, in order for this to be, so basically the argument is, well, it's a tool, but who's going to use it and to what end? How useful will it be? That's the real question.
And I brought up that example that I thought of.
What's that?
And the example I thought of is like, an executive is mad that things aren't more attractive.
Okay, right, exactly. Yeah. So you make a good point. Like if this is a tool that anybody has access to, people off the art team could grab and go, look, guys, I tweaked this with AI. What do you think? Imagine having that uncomfortable conversation where you have to tell the CEO, yeah, she's 15 or 50% hotter, sir, but I'm not really sure if that's a part of the vision.
That's always been a conversation in the studios I've worked at anyways. But what's interesting is they said they're giving the devs the controls, but they already have the controls with artists. So what?
Yeah. So what's this for? It's, I think you make a really good point. It's for the execs to reach down and say, like, actually, I want to do it. It's for untrained people who are less artistic. Potentially, and even for the artists, like, how's it going to be useful for them? I mean, if you look at some, can we put the video up again, Eric? I want to talk about the environments for a minute, if that's okay. Yeah. A lot of what we see here on the characters, I'm not a big fan. There's parts that I think I could see some application. We could talk about that at the end, Jay. But I think that, like, when it comes to the environments of like Assassin's Creed or the Oblivion remaster, it looks like they just turned up the fucking gamma, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how difficult was that to do? Do we really need AI for that?
Yeah, if we can go to some of the Oblivion sections, Eric, if we can.
Yeah.
Yeah, no worries, Eric. It's fine. Eric says this. I know you guys are like, whoa, why did it take Eric, the master of getting clips, so long to get that up? It's because YouTube was blocking the pop up. Yeah, with a lot of the environment stuff, as you said, it seems like they're just like puking up more gamma, and they're just really, and the contrast, just to give it some like definition, like in a way that's ugly to me. And also with an example we're going to see here, and I'm only bringing this up because I know we're going to see it. With some of these characters, the elves that they're trying to humanize, because I think the elves have such unique faces compared to like general humans that I believe this AI is trained on, it doesn't really know what to do with its eyes. So there have been clips of them moving in the videos where the eyes are all like misshapen and moved.
They look like mouths.
Yeah, they look really odd because it doesn't know what to do. And that's just more proof of, like, even though the CEO went out and said, hey, everyone's wrong, it's not doing everything on the frame level, it's doing it on the geometry. It is doing it on the frame level. It's taking this face and trying to that's the image. Thank you, Eric. I'm not sure if you can zoom in on the right side's eyes, Eric. But for all of our listeners, this elf's eyes are one, that jawline, beautiful.
Mikey, can you help me do the eyes? Like,
but like
I don't know if I can do that with my eyes.
That elf is dual wielding lazy eyes in opposite directions right now. Like, it's impressive, and it's because a lot of it is the AI doesn't know what to do with an elven face.
Like that cheekbone is like, ugh.
You made a good point yesterday, Jay, where like what they presented here was probably the best that they had, because obviously when you're going to present new technology,
it's an ad, yeah,
you're going to present the best. And you could see some of the environments here as Eric pulled up. And yeah, I guess I'm simplifying a little bit. A lot of it looks like just turned up gamma, but also, you know what else it looks like is something that an artist would just like spend half a day tweaking or maybe an hour tweaking to get to that effect. And AI was not really needed and didn't make it any faster. That's the big thing for me is like, if they're going to make this proposal and say, well, it's just a tool for artists, well, it better be useful, right? Like it better be useful to an artist and it better help them achieve their goals. Yeah, the Assassin's Creed one is pretty good. I'm open to being told otherwise, but to me, this just looks like different lighting. It's not better or worse, and it's a bit brighter, and it could have been achieved otherwise.
It's just a lot brighter.
You could just do it with a lighter, just going in and changing the lighting. I don't know. It's odd. We got some more donations, by the way.
Oh yeah, let's go through some of these
donations
donations before we continue the chat.
Thank you for your donations. We'll run through them.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. So let's have a look at where we were before. Okay, Saucy Guru, €5. Thank you so much. Says the worst part is the NVIDIA CEO trying to gaslight us and lie about what the slop filter does after the backlash. Yeah, it's saying you're all wrong. You know, it's.
I wouldn't call it gaslighting. I feel like he's said it's rude to say they're completely wrong. That's like bad PR. I wouldn't say that, and I don't know why he would, but I think it's more like he's trying to convince again, the quotes are a little confusing and we could call that exec speech, but he's basically saying it's a tool. That's my interpretation of what he's saying. And it's a tool, the devs will figure it out, but it better be a useful tool. And also, who's going to use it? The artists or the execs who people have trouble saying no to when they want to change things artistically, as Tina brought up.
The part that I think is gaslighty, from what I understand, and please correct me, Chad, if I'm wrong, but NVIDIA didn't outright say this is an AI filter. It's not an Instagram, TikTok, make me prettier filter. It's just but it is.
It's an AI filter that runs in real time, is what it is.
Yeah. So I think that's the gaslighty part that people may be referring to. But yeah, we have.
Yeah, they're using. He's saying that if users controllability of the geometry and textures and everything about the game. But what we've seen from a conflicting quote from someone who developed it is that it is not controllability of the geometry and the textures whatsoever. It's something that's going on top of them to boost it in whatever way that AI filter.
Yeah. I guess I interpreted that as being like to the CEO, and I'm not. Now I sound like an apologist. I'm just saying my interpretation was basically that he's saying, there's a delta, right? There's a change that we apply on top. And that results in something different. And it's using the textures and the geometry as the base. But at this point, it's kind of semantic. Regardless, it's not a great answer because it's not very clear, right? Because here we are talking about the ambiguities of it.
Yeah, 100%. It's semantic in a way that puts them in a favorable light, which is obviously his job because that's how they keep stocks up. But it's also disingenuous to what it actually is. And just telling people that they're wrong, but then saying something that's wrong is just it's a bold move. Let's see how that pans out.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a very negative backlash. Real quick before we do the next dono, Tina brings up a pretty good point. When's the last time NVIDIA gotten this much had this much of a discontented response? And maybe they're not used to how to deal with this. I really wonder what they're going to do.
I just don't really know who it's for. Like developers don't need this. They have lighters, they have artists that can tweak things. They have rendering engineers who could provide maybe like new lighting features.
That's something we've spoken about a bunch on previous episodes with this whole hardware shift, which is are developers going to be moving away from pushing things with lighting and
because of the hardware concerns,
because of the hardware limitations, and we're going to kind of be stuck in a bit of a drought. So the other question is, who is this for on the consumer level? Not like also, if you want to, who has dual 5090s in their PC? Very, very few people. Very few people, and that number's only going to get smaller the further we go into the future because of the hardware limitations. So who is this for? Are we thinking, like Mikee said early on, which is this going to be technology that is going to be used in big games as a service, not games as a service, what am I trying to say? Like stream cloud gaming stuff, and it's going to be streamed to people? Because if so, what a waste of power to to stream this to your PC to see some kind of AI interpretation of art.
So if I had to actually come to the table and bring an example of where I think consumers would want this, it would be someone using NVIDIA's cloud gaming service, and it'd be somebody that just like is really horny and wants their characters to look hot.
A lot of gamers are horny.
You know what I
Maybe
mean?
the market's bigger than we think.
I think we'd say 100% of gamers are horny. That's a requirement.
100% of gamers. What about the asexual gamers, Jay? Don't
make gamers 100% more horny, says the executive.
Whoa, you're imposing your patriarchal sexuality on
I
the
just
gaming world.
Yeah, I think that's what's so strange about it is if you're gonna say, yeah, like F yeah to this feature that NVIDIA came up with, like,
look again before you continue, Tina, I'm not trying to defend them. I'm just trying to explain. I think we don't just want to dogpile. I just want to offer some context. I think what they think it's supposed to be, which I don't think is useful, is that it's a tool, right? And that it won't just make things horny. You'll tweak it to make things gritty because you want to do a gritty game. So like, I kind of get that argument a bit. And like when we talk about it later, I could see maybe some good applications. But I agree that like I don't see it for myself, and I can't think of a developer who'd want to do anything other than make things look hornier or differently lit, which they could do otherwise.
I could definitely see a layman coming in and being shown this and going, "Wow, yeah, everything looks much better. Like Grace looks much better. Like the lighting looks better." But then if someone like has any semblance of like taste, they look at it for more than 5 seconds and go, "Oh, no, this doesn't. Like all of these things are odd." And then you see it in motion and the eyes are flickering and like it just looks a bit wrong.
Well, it's not just that. It doesn't take in like lighting sources in the game, right? So it's just going to look kind of odd at some point if you're in like a dim
because games aren't lit
right?
realistically, which is the thing. When you light a scene, you are more like a film cinematographer than you are God, right? You're not lighting the scene by just illuminating through God rays and the point light of the sun. You're placing spotlights to create specific highlights and guide certain the player viewpoints to specific items, and like lighting in games does not make sense, just like it doesn't make sense in the movies.
At least in their examples, it's worth noting that it removes light. Like in the example with Grace, I don't know if you want to pull it up, Eric. It's the very beginning, the very first one. There's a lamp, I think, in the back left of the shot. And once they go through DLSS 5, it removes the light, or it turns it off, or it dims it significantly. Let's try to see right now.
On the right side.
Oh, is it on the right and not the left? Okay.
Oh,
or was it the close-up shot? Was it the close-up shot you were on about?
I thought it was. Maybe
there's a second. No, there's a. If you go back,
one.
Eric, there's a close-up shot of.
No, it was the first one. There was a lamp in I think the very first shot of the video that gets dimmer. There it is. Yeah, it's right there, right near her head at the top left of it. Yeah, you can see that it starts out lit
looks dimmer
and then
too,
it becomes dim. There it is. Yeah. So anyway, I mean, I'm just backing up your point, Tina, that like the light is affected and it's not very deliberate.
Well, it also the AI might take images and be like, "Oh, this isn't lit realistically. I'm going to attempt to do that." And like you've shown in your examples, it can remove light, it can add light where it doesn't need it. I made a video years ago called "Games Are So Pretty It's Ruining My Job," which was about like, as a level designer, I was working on this indie game, and within it, the artist would attempt to make my level designs look pretty. It's their job to go in and make the scene pretty. And by doing that, they would add too much foliage, they do X, Y, and Z, and it would kind of break the natural flow of where I wanted the player to be navigating and looking.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's this back and forth of like, okay, well, we need to move these, we need to make these darker, we need to do all this, and it just adds all this extra work. This is going to do that times 50 because it's just going to make more work for all different
I thought of
areas.
another use for this.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know, if I was on paper trying to come up with like actual reasons.
Yeah.
people that are making game slop that don't have the artists, they don't have the lighters, that don't have the resources to actually make something look good. Or even like, we have photogrammetry tech. Like you could just scan someone's face and get it in and make it look as good as you want. I could see a kid or like a person using, AI slop to make a game, and they're like, oh, it doesn't look as good as I was hoping. Throw this on top of it. Now I got a game that looks like a AAA game.
But it seems how far are they going to get with that? Because they're not. Nobody can use it.
Well, I mean, AI slop to begin with isn't going to be like a silver bullet, right? Neither is this. It's just like a duct tape.
Real quick, Eric, did you just pull up a picture from GoldenEye? It flashed across the screen. There it is.
What's that for?
Some HD
let's run this through DLSS 5 and just see what we get. It looks like
we got a lot more. I want to get through the funding.
Let's get through some of the donos. So, Mr. Hacksora, it was £5. Thank you so much. It's so perfect and indicative that people cannot afford the hardware to run DLSS 5 because of the same industry that DLSS 5 relies on. Yeah, it's kind of ironic that they're like, hey, here's this really cool technology that will make you want to buy our products. Oh shit, you can't buy our products. You
can stream it. You can cloud stream it. Right?
That's the conspiracy theory. Is that they are pushing it further and further in that direction. So gamers have no hardware, they have no physical media, and it's all streamed, and they own you, motherfucker. That's the conspiracy. Which honestly, I think if you gave them a genie and they rubbed it, and some terrible genie came out and said, "Oh, if you want, you can own all gamers," they'd wish for that. They'd wish for that. Of course they would. They're not here for your benefit. Like, let's get that straight. So, next one. Mikhail Hudson gives $5 Canadian. Thank you so much. Look, cool. We're getting euros, we're getting quid, we're getting Canadian dollars. It's all over.
All around the world.
And it said, remember the fake frames debacle that happened a bit ago? This is the next gen of exactly that version of DLSS bit with AI plus up and prediction. Yeah, so I think I can't remember the exact reference here, but this was the was it NVIDIA or AMD doing the post processing that basically predicts frames in between them to basically like double if not triple your FPS count. This, in my opinion, is a very interesting way of using that technology. This is something that is beneficial to people who do have lower end hardware to make them get higher FPSs at higher qualities of games, because what it's doing is just predicting between frames. That is going, well, if you're moving the camera this fast, the next frame should be this with motion blur. And we already kind of have that, so I'll just replicate it here and then move through. And because of that, you get more frames. That's an interesting way of using it, right?
There's that, at least sort of similar. There's that lossless scaling game on Steam. Maybe we could link it, Eric, if you want. Here, I'll throw it up in the chat. I haven't used this. I think I planned to, but I never got around to it. I have a friend who really liked it. But yeah, there's that's kind of what I was hoping this technology would be about. It would be about improving people's frame rates, right? Or improving the way that they could run games.
Interact with the art. Yeah.
To view the art at a buttery smooth whatever FPS.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't seem so.
Alas. Yeah, they just want to push this because like we said at the top of it, the top of this episode is just that's where these big companies have invested all of their money. So they want you to use it. I don't think this benefits players, right? I mean, unless you really want to see Grace's lips being that plump. And if you do, probably just go play something else. Member for 28 months, Eric A. Should be making donos. Thank you so much. Well, I guess that's not a dono. You're just using your member value tier. Ting said, random share that I found Tina on Resident Evil Requiem before DLSS 5 was announced. I'm sure Eric will pull that up right now. Tina is on the left there.
So this is environment art in Resident Evil Requiem, the new Resident Evil game. And Eric messaged us internally and went, Tina, is this you? And
looks
it's pretty similar.
It does look like you, Tina.
Hell yeah.
It's not a bad comparison.
You know who else looked like me? There was this character named Ruby from a game called Wet that no one played except me.
Wet? I know.
And they look like you?
That was a thirsty game, dude. Holy shit.
I played through that shit.
How big were the lips?
You played through Wet?
Yeah, I was like, that looks like me.
Were you fanning yourself the whole time from how hot the game was?
I used to wear my hair like that with the bangs covering my
Oh,
face.
nice.
Okay,
nice.
nice.
Never getting a sequel. Rest in peace.
No. Speaking of Wet, I don't know why I used that as a segue. Sorry. Yeah, he did. Yeah.
If anybody wants to watch it.
Gelden Yetish gives $10. Thank you so much. And says, pretty sure last year Huang praised Game and Gen hallucinating Doom as a playable video as the future of games. Yeah, I could see why he'd want 1993 to require a 2026 graphics card. Yeah, he's
What's
I
this
know. I
one?
think a lot of these execs are
Hallucinating-
out of touch.
My browser is crashing, so I can't see it. What was the thing that he praised?
This was, I need to look up the exact details of it, but I believe it was someone or something hallucinating Doom.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
Let me find it.
I just thought of
Yeah,
another
that-
reason why someone would want to use this tech and be happy about it. If you wanted to do a remake or remaster, you just slap this on top and call it a day.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, it was.
Oh, I remember this. Yeah.
It was
It was
AI
simulated.
hallucinating Doom. Yeah.
Got it. Yes. I think that I thought
So
they did
part
it
of
with
this is
Quake
just
as
like-
well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I
this is
remember this
because there is so much. I'm sure there is so much data on Doom and Quake because there's a huge like recreation community for Doom and Quake, but mainly
Shitload
Doom.
of content, like 30 years.
Yeah, there's so
over
much
30
content for them to
years
train it
of
on.
video
So like
content,
they
yeah.
can just hallucinate the Doom. I'm not sure if they had gameplay within it, but here, okay, Eric, keep this up. This is a great example of if you can go back a little bit, Eric. I'll describe this to the listeners. What we're seeing is Doom, but when he was walking in that green liquid, you could see how there was this weird motion blurring, kind of like warping on the liquid when he moved, because what it's doing is in between every frame, it's redrawing the ripples of that water. This is the type of thing that I am incredibly worried about with DLSS 5, because what it's going to do to a lot of the environments is this kind of warping, unless they employ some new technology that we haven't seen before. Because between every frame, not if they're using some of this in-between frame technology that they've proven they have, it's going to be redrawing Grace's fat lips every single time you move, right? So sometimes it might go, well, at this distance and this lighting that we're calculating, we want Grace's lips to be 50 times bigger. So like for a split second, they go like, whap.
Like a fucking Looney Tune. Yeah, and then all the gamers are gonna
Which
be
works
upset.
in
They're gonna
Resident
be
Evil,
like,
right?
Why can't they get Grace's lips to be consistently plump? I hate this. I'm refunding, and nobody wins there.
Mm.
Before we go to the next question, real quick, no, I feel like Capcom and a lot of these companies must be really frustrated with this. Like that leading image of Grace, all the memes of Grace. Capcom, I think they didn't sign off on this. A lot of the, and if they did, it was the execs who might have not even reviewed it.
So this is the information we have, which is a bunch of people have done a huge amount of interviews with a bunch of the developers, and what they've seen is a lot of the developers and artists that they've interviewed had no idea all of this stuff was happening, that any of these showcases was going to be happening. But the executives, NVIDIA can't just take games and do this unless it was just an AI filter applied to video, which it definitely wasn't. They'd have to get permission from the devs to be able to implement this stuff. And what the theory is that they did that on a executive level because the executives would love to be helping out NVIDIA and getting all cushy with all of that. But the actual artists who designed and made these things
Had no idea.
or they
had
just
no
shallowly
idea.
thought,
Yeah.
oh, free promotion. Sure, yeah, put us in the showcase. You're NVIDIA. Like a lot of eyes will
Yeah.
get on our new game, Resident Evil Requiem.
And then, it's Yassified Grace, our main character, and it's become the poster child of that entire movement. And apparently
don't
with
like
someone
it.
people don't like this. This is a bad look. And and all of the devs that were spoken to, I saw a post from someone. I wish I had the name. I do apologize, guys. The post was that they had interviewed a whole bunch of devs, and even the ones that declined to name themselves in the article, not a single dev was for this. Not a single one.
Oh, is this the Kotaku article from Zach?
Potentially.
I think I saw that. Yeah. He asked a bunch of devs to chime in on what they thought.
Yeah, and not a single one was up for any of this. And after we've gone through the donos, we do have a little bit to say about what we would like to see from some technology like this as developers. But we'll get through some of your generous donations because you guys have been slamming us with them. So if you want to get your stuff read out and hear our thoughts on what you have to say, drop a dono. We do appreciate you. Now, where the fuck was I? Yeah, I got it. Mirif D. It's Mirif. Thank you so much. $2 Ds. And says, y'all are a delight. Keep it up. Thank you so much, Mirif. You keep it up, bud.
Thank you.
How about that? Waiting for Seaman 2 gives 100 R's. Was it the 2 in that, Tina, that broke it for you?
To really
Waiting for Seaman 2. Hold on. So it's this person who's involved in the Seaman affair who's also waiting, like TOO, waiting for Seaman 2 in addition.
It's the remath. It's the sequel to the.
Oh, it's a sequel.
Seaman.
So it's the bigger, better AI-ified.
Waiting for Seaman 2, Electric Seamanafu. Yeah.
Oh, but Eric has brought a whole new level. He put up this fucking weird Dreamcast game. What the hell was that called? Oh, why did they think that was
It wasn't like LSD?
No, it wasn't. No. This is like Seaman.
It's called Seaman.
It was just called Seaman.
It came with a peripheral, I think. There was a fucking microphone that you plugged into your Dreamcast. Am I wrong,
okay.
Eric?
So the dono's waiting for a sequel to this Dreamcast game.
Oh, so you were right, Tina. It was a sequel. It was not.
Dude, waiting for Seaman
in the room
drops a dono
Seaman
on nearly every windbreaker we do, and we do them weekly. And I've never got that reference. All I see is that Yahtzee Croshaw picture because his picture's Yahtzee back when he used to wear his hat. Man, we haven't even read out your dono. Give me a second, guys.
I'm sure they're very happy.
Can we yassify one of these screenshots of Seaman?
Eric, can you yassify one of the Seaman?
From Seaman, beautiful.
Give it the DLSS 5 treatment.
I want off the ride. I don't.
Wait, I'm jumping back on the ride with the dono. Waiting for Seaman 2 gives 100 Rs and says, can we talk about Mario first plus 18 game? Because that's the rating Brazil gave Mario Kart Tour. Also, what? Also, fun fact, the game is banned in Belgium. On the bright side, removable batteries on Switch 2 soon. What? This is loaded.
About.
Let's break this down.
One at a time, please go.
Wait, is this real?
The first one is that in Brazil, Mario Kart Tour has apparently been made an 18 plus game. My first question is why? What about it is violent or sexy enough? Did they put it's probably because they put DLSS 5 on it and it made Peach's lips too plump.
Too sexy.
It's become too sexy.
Too adult.
18 plus.
I'm looking this up now.
I'm looking around now.
We can't have the kids seeing them plump lips.
We were not prepared for that. Okay, so as of 6 hours ago, there's a
This makes a little more
News article says
Go ahead, Tina.
They increased the age rating to 18 plus in Brazil because of the games marketed to a younger demographic, which features gambling and loot boxes.
Yeah. This makes a little more sense.
There's gambling and loot boxes in,
and it's banned in Belgium because Belgium does not allow loot boxing. I remember dealing with this.
There are
on
loot
Apex.
boxes in Mario Kart Tour.
No, well, yeah. When you collect the question mark things that give you your
that can't be counted. That's a gameplay mechanic. That's not a loot box.
But that's wait, that can't count, right?
It's
is it like are there certain skins you can get?
There must be a monetized gambling aspect. It can't be the question marks, right? I think.
I mean, if you wanted to be a jerk and say that that's gambling because you don't know what you're going to get, that's technically true.
You're right. So the government could have misinterpreted it easily. That's true. That's true. But I feel like it probably isn't that. Like if I had to put money down, I would say it's Jay, don't look now, but Eric has put your face on
Seaman.
Feed me.
Oh God.
Use your peripheral. Feed me.
Use your peripheral. The peripheral is just for talking, I think.
Speak to me.
Jesus.
No, Jay.
That's fascinating.
God.
Okay,
Maybe
well,
we should-
we got more
we should-
parts of this.
Yeah, thanks for
Let's part 2.
the comment, but we didn't do our
Removable
research on
batteries on the Switch too soon. I mean, as in for repairing, rather than you're gonna load it up with some double A's. Like,
it. Anyways,
I see practical
Hold on,
application there. You know, swap in a new battery, keep playing for your long flight if you don't got a charger.
there we go, Eric. That's spot on.
Your head was turning, Jay, and I thought you were reacting skeptically to my practical
Someone
application of
get me
battery.
a screenshot of this and post it in the Discord.
you need to like
Hold
suck
it.
in your cheek.
Great
fat.
lip movement.
Like
Now you look like a fucking fish. Way to go. You're doing it. You look honestly, Jay, you look too much like a fish, unlike the original semen. by the
okay,
Dreamcast.
we're messing around.
All right, let's
keep
hop back
getting
on the train.
donations.
Yeah, we
Donations.
love donos. Hey guys,
We're
don't think we're
happy.
ever complaining about you guys giving
No,
us
I love
donations.
this. We got another
I
one.
love it. I love it. Thank you. You're paying for ours and Ludo's meals. Next, we got Mixter Hacksaw. He's back with £5. Thanks so much. Said NVIDIA's specific response about how the technology works after the initial backlash was a genuine barefaced lie. It's astonishing. You'd be surprised how much big higher ups are willing to lie to save face and not think about what they're saying. A lot of it might be because a lot of these big CEOs that are responsible for showcasing the things also have no fucking clue how these things actually work.
Or what they are.
Or what they are. Yeah. They're just responsible for shilling it to you. And given a lot of money to do so. So yeah, I'm not surprised it's a lie. A lot of the things that all the big tech companies say is a fucking lie. That's why as consumers, you need to have the correct amount of due diligence to be able to look at it and go, is that a fucking lie, mate? Because most of the times it is. But sometimes it's not. Due diligence. Is that the right word, Jess? Due diligence?
Yeah. He should have done
That's
his
it.
due
You got it.
diligence before responding. Maybe. I don't know.
She didn't hear the
I
sentence.
I'm still a little unsure of like calling it an explicit lie. I think that it was a deliberately ambiguous
I mean, he
response.
gets paid enough
And I
to
wouldn't
deal
call
with
that-
people saying he's a liar or all the backlash. He'll be fine.
Oh, he doesn't care.
I'm not concerned about defending him for his sake. I'm saying that like in the interest of what Jay's saying, we're like we should do our due diligence. Like we should
due
we
diligence.
we should review and analyze in an emotionally removed manner. I look at that and I say, I think that's just an exec who has been trained to give ambiguous responses.
That's not
as a
ambiguous, though. To just
representative.
be like, you're wrong.
You're wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the part, but that's what I think is the ambiguous part. Is like he says you're completely wrong in this way, and then he goes on to explain, oh, but the technology just works differently.
Super
and it's
generic
a tool.
stuff. Yeah.
Which again, to me, is like I think there's an ambiguity he's introducing in front of the thing that sounds bold and confident, and that's what I guess I'm saying is like that's an exec response that gets away with not being a lie, but is pretty misleading or at least confusing.
Yeah. 100%.
That's to me is different from saying he explicitly lied. Even if it's bad, like I'm not defending it. I'm saying it was a bad response. You need to acknowledge the subtleties of how this is bad, more than just saying he lied.
Perma due diligence. Perma due diligence, even in the face of perceived lies.
The
Keep digging.
DLSS 5 version of diligence is what we're asking
Yes.
for.
It's been run. The responses run through a filter.
Due diligence LS 5.
Gay Bear Mountain.
Gay Bear Mountain gives $20. Hey, man. Says, I'm going to watch this on demand later, but I have to leave a super chat just for the thumbnail because that alone is worth $20 for the laugh it gave me when I first saw it. Oh my God.
Tina.
Okay, so do we
Don't look
take
at Tina now?
Oh my God, she's been
Yes.
yassified.
Thank
you guys would
Eric.
not believe the laugh we had when we theorized this thumbnail, and also we theorized the titles. Tina, with this filter, would you scroll to the top of our document and read out our proposed titles for me?
Oh my God. Okay.
Tina, I'm uncomfortable.
Okay. NVIDIA's AI is making games look great again. Is this what NVIDIA's think game art is? NVIDIA drops new AI filter to make you hot. Oh my god, I hate this. I hate the
It's
way.
That's the runner-up.
NVIDIA tech progress or regression. I think that was one of my boring ones.
Yeah.
NVIDIA hates uggos. NVIDIA thinks you're fucking fugly.
Oh wait, hold on.
NVIDIA
I wrote
thinks you
down.
should put
No,
some
hold on,
goddamn
hold
makeup
on. I wrote NVIDIA thinks you're fucking fugly.
Yeah, that's
not
what
you're
I
fucking
said.
ugly. Oh, I didn't
Oh,
hear
did-
fugly.
did I
Yeah,
speak
no,
Spanish?
you didn't hear it through the Yas accent. She said fugly.
Okay, sorry. It was so distorted.
Yeah.
Continue.
RIP uggos, says NVIDIA. NVIDIA says, plump up those lips, sweetie. Oh my god.
We had a really hard time choosing the title for the stream from those.
No. We didn't, because we wrote all these down, and then Mikey wrote down NVIDIA says you can be hot for 2590s, and we pissed ourselves laughing for 20 minutes.
I was happy that it was well received.
We have to give for all of the listeners who don't understand the goings on behind. We have meetings to sort out everything we're gonna do, and then I hand titles to Marty and thumbnails, and then he sets up the stream. And I thought maybe the NVIDIA says you can be hot for 2590s might be too much of an in-joke. So I also gave him the alternative one, which was NVIDIA drops a new AI filter to make you hot. And we were hoping that he would use the 590s one, and he did. He did.
Wait. Drisdale1 says NVIDIA demands lip service.
Oh,
Very
if you
good.
guys have any other perfect titles for this, feel free to drop them in the chat.
This is so
Oh my god, I'm gonna keep
So
moving though, because we got 2 more donos
go.
to get through.
All right.
Captain President, $10. Thank you so much, Captain President. Huge supporter of the channel. Dropped some absolutely fat donos recently. Really appreciate you, bud. Says DLSS 5 makes things hotter, eh? Gentlemen, I have created beer goggles. But seriously, this is like motion smoothing for TVs. It's butt ugly, makes images artificial to please dummies. Yeah, like that's the thing. I could see, I was saying it earlier, but we went off to talk about other things. I could see a layman looking at this and going, wow, she looks really good. Or the environment looks really good, because they don't have the, I don't want to sound pretentious, but they don't have the eye to look at game art in a critical way. But the thing is, laymen who would go, wow, this actually looks good, are not the type of people who have $10,000 plus PCs to run this shit. So, like, who is this for? Who is this for? It's ridiculous.
The other thing I wanted to mention that we have not explicitly said yet on this podcast is a feature like this is dangerously making games look way too similar.
Oh, yes.
And you're gonna lose artistic integrity because of it. So I just wanted to say that verbally out loud on the record.
That's been a lot of the issue with a bunch of AAA games. About 10 years ago was when it first started going, where like games are starting to look all the same, or like all the FPSs look the same. They're all brown and they're all X, Y, and Z. And in recent days, they've been trying to move away in different directions because a lot of games were starting to look similar. And a lot of that is due to a lot of these big AAA games trying to push for realism within their art direction. And that sucked. But now this realism is being forced upon you with an AI filter. So it can take stylized games like Elder Scrolls Oblivion, which is stylized in the way it depicts its characters and its races and stuff like that, and turn them into garbled AI slop. You know, that's what you want, guys, isn't it? That's what you guys want, right?
Yes.
Fucking Eric just coming with these memes. They're fire, dude. I'm sorry, if you're listening, if you're one of the rare audio only podcast listeners, this is a good one to watch because we got some banger memes and I cannot describe them. They're really, really good in the background.
Someone in the chat, Speakeasy, said DLSS sucking lips. That's pretty good too. Pretty good.
God damn.
Right? 6197, thank you so much for the $5. It says, "Holy crap! I talked about Wet this week with friends and found I still had my 360 copy. Pretty good voice cast. Eliza Dushku and Malcolm McDowell's in it. Cool.
Yeah,
So
Wet was
random.
a weird. I don't know why. I'm surprised Wet got funded, but this was from an era that was like on the tail end of make a third-person action game with some theme, and it'll be fine. so that was
Have
it.
a theme.
Have a theme. Like I was talking about a few months ago, 50 Cent : Bulletproof. They made a 50 Cent game, and of course it was, because it was PS2 era, it was a third-person action game. And I feel like that persisted into the 360 era, where you got,
I
Stranglehold,
interviewed
was another
50 Cent for his game, and I wish I saved the audio clip because he immediately was like, "How you doing, honey?" He started talking.
Wait, who interviewed him? What did you say?
I did. Yeah.
You interviewed 50 Cent?
Yeah, for his game. And I remember
For 50
I was
Cent:
I was only
Bulletproof?
I was the only woman.
Why is this the first time I'm
on the
hearing
phone
about
call?
this?
And he was just like, "Hey, honey."
Was he? Did you not like that?
Amazing.
Did you not like that he called you?
No,
honey,
no,
or was
I
that-
didn't mind. I just thought it was funny.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's cute. It's funny. He gets interviewed in the game. If you go to 50's apartment in the game, they have like a behind the scenes videos, and he's so sweet. He's so nice. He talks about like, it was so cool. I was in a video game. I really liked it.
He does seem like a sweet
There he
dude.
is. Yeah.
I mean, that boy hates Diddy, but he seems sweet.
A sweet hater is what.
Yeah, but like in the best way.
You should
Sometimes
put 50
you can
Cent
take
on this
someone's hate for
NVIDIA
something.
feature.
Yeah.
Yeah, what would 50 do?
The game is a fucking
DLSS
trip.
5.
If anybody hasn't played 50 Cent : Bulletproof and you have a PlayStation 2, I encourage you to check it out. It's
Yeah,
a
it's
bit
got like
rough.
Snoop Dogg and Beetlejuice and like a bunch of different.
Doesn't have
people.
Beetlejuice.
Mikee said
M&M's in it.
Yahtzee reviewed the game. Is that true?
Did Yahtzee
I
review
didn't know
it?
that. Eminem's in it, and he's fucking hilarious. Eminem is a great voice actor. And by the way, I mean, 50, I think there's scenes where like he should have been directed differently, or maybe he wasn't experienced. I think he could have done better. But if you hear 50 in the Modern Warfare 2 2008 version, he's excellent. He's one of the soldiers that you play as in the Spec Ops mode. I'm not kidding. Did everybody know that?
Well, I did not know that.
50 Cent is in Modern Warfare 2. Not a joke.
Whoa.
I'll try to find some evidence. But yeah, no, he's also in the campaign. But no, he's in the fucking he's one of the characters in Spec Ops. And his barks are excellent. And so are Eminem's in 50 Cent : Bulletproof. Anyway,
Boom.
let's continue through the donos.
I think that was for now. If more come in, that was the last dono. So we can hop back to our thoughts, which is our thoughts on what we would rather see as developers with technology like this, which is a bit of a nuanced conversation because I'm with Mikey on that. I don't feel like this should be a dogpile situation where we just say this thing bad, AI bad. Don't get me wrong. I think the applications they're using here are not good, and I don't see a lot of like proper uses for them. But I think we should try and theorize. Well, with this technology, what would we like to see? Would any of you like to hop in and give us your thoughts?
I'd like to. There's a couple things where, like, as I'm saying, like we should avoid being dogpiley. I mean, but also obviously be truthful and honest and critical. One of the things I will say is this: in that video, I thought the FIFA part kind of looked okay. Like, I see the application in a game like FIFA, which maybe like you don't want to pay for an art team, or maybe you don't want to try to deeply stylize your game. Maybe you want to make it look like a fucking broadcast on TV. And FIFA might be a good application of that. Maybe if you're making like a military shooter, right? I mean, but there's a lot of military shooters out there. You know, it's fine that they're stylized. It's fine that they're not. Like a game like Arma, I don't know. Maybe you want to increase the visual fidelity of the textures on your characters to make their skin look like, I don't know, really like burnt and like it's been out in the sun for really long, because your game like Arma 3 is set in the Mediterranean. Maybe that has an application there. I'm not sure. So I don't deny that that's possible. Another
like,
potential use.
We're saying
like
you make a character model of a soldier, and then he went through, I don't know, some horrific tar.
Yeah, there was an explosion.
Stuff
Put him
or
through the
something.
explosion filter.
Use this
Or put
on
him
it
through
instead.
he was hiking all day and he's sweaty filter. Like there's in a game that's like got a realistic art style or like a less of an art style. Maybe there's some application there where you could run him through a filter like this. Maybe the other application, and then again, like if it's something like FIFA or Madden or wrestling game, maybe you just want the characters to look more realistic, like make their skin look more textured. I don't mean textured like video game texture. I mean like literally humanly textured. The other application is like for low def games in VR, where the hardware is all mobile technology, right? For the standalone headsets. VTOL VR is a game I've been playing a lot. VTOL VR has a cool art style. I actually wouldn't want to remove that, but I can understand taking that game and going artistically, I think there should be more definition and ruggedness to the metal of this F-35 like jet. And you run it through a filter like this and you go, okay, cool. Yes, thank you, Eric. Yeah, as you can see, pretty low definition, right? Overall as a game. They lean into it and they make it a style. I like that, but I could see somebody going, well, you know what? Let's run it through DLSS 5, our version of DLSS 5, and let's make the texturing of the planes look more worn out from the sea because they're out on aircraft carriers and amphibious assault ships. There's potential applications there that I do think that we should acknowledge. Again, like I was saying before, it's going to come down to if the developers feel like it's actually going to be useful. And if it can be done in a way that works, in this case, on low fidelity machines like VR, which are run on like mobile technology.
Yeah.
That part doesn't seem possible unless you cloud it, because 250/90s is apparently what's required.
And also, like, I'd be really intrigued to see the level of control developers have in this regard, because as you were explaining in that example, you were like, oh, it'd be really good if we could have more definition and grittiness in the metal on the Def 160s and stuff like that. But because we've now discovered that this is not on the geometry level, it's like a filter that's being applied. Do you have the and as we saw with the cups in Starfield, it is applying it blanketly to the entire scene. Are you going to be able to have the individual control to be like, okay, I want our metallics to look like this, I want our human faces to look like this? Or is it just a blanket thing of like, you have your DLSS 5 filter and you can have it at 10%, or you can have it all the way up to 100%, and you are fine tuning the percentage of AI filter and not just like what's happening within it. Right.
It better be be a flexible tool, just like any game engine, right? You better be able to, it better not just be a slider.
And I doubt it is, because that seems like so much computational power that would be needed, not just to run the game, but then also have this filter be like, okay, well, I need to look at all of these individual objects that the developer wants to change the material property of them and lighting property, and also track them in 3D space while they're moving, and apply all these things while the game is running. Like, that
it feels like wishful
mad.
thinking. I think I agree with you, and I see what you mean.
Yeah.
But anyway, those are two potential use cases that there's some use cases that I would see, and I will also concede that, like, I thought it looked okay on FIFA. More in the character stuff, because again, like, it was a super well lit scene. It was like a football game out in the sun,
overhead lighting.
Yeah, exactly. And they just made their textures look their skin texture look more detailed. So
100%. I think, like, from my perspective, I feel like this is going to I mentioned it earlier, double the amount of work that developers have to do, because as we were just describing, even if they had even more so if they have the amount of fine-tuned control that we're hoping for, which is being able to change the properties on all of the different materials and lighting situations, even if they don't, even if it's just a filter, developers are going to have to take the time to light their scene, model everything, texture everything, and have it look pretty enough with their own lighting and their own depiction of what they want, and then apply this filter and then make sure that it looks good there as well. And that's not just, moving the slider, but also, as we've seen and we've spoken about with some of the lighting situations within games, they are not lit realistically. So one way you light the scene actually might be completely ugly when the filter attempts to light it realistically. So you have to then adjust how your previous scene is lit. So there's this crazy back and forth that even if you have these tools, it's just going to add development time for a subsect at the moment, unless we go full cloud gaming, which I hope we don't, for such a small amount of your players to be able to use. And that's just crazy. I can't see a huge amount of developers wanting to adopt this. Oh, she's back.
Hi, what'd I miss?
Welcome back. Me just saying that it's going to add a lot of work. And like not only with the filter, but just relighting the scenes for both of them and stuff like that. And it just felt like it's needless.
Here's another quick thing that you're reminding me, Jay. If they had DLSS 4, please correct me if I'm wrong, you could turn it on and off, right, in any game. I'm pretty sure that you can do that. Please tell me if I'm wrong. If this is something, DLSS 5, that they support and they go through with, currently at DLSS 4.5. Okay, thank you, Eric. If you have that and you're an artist and you're like, okay, cool. So a lot of people who have NVIDIA GPUs are going to want to potentially turn DLSS 5 on for whatever reason. And we've decided, like at the company level, that we're going to support that. I have to make my video game look good with the AI filter being switched on and whatever way that we use the tool to make it look better, but also whenever it's off. And they're like very different, right? I mean, there's plenty of other graphical options and hardware specs that you have to account for as a developer to make sure that the game runs well and looks good no matter what. But imagine trying to make the game look good with this tech that drastically changes the look of the game and without the tech.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot.
Customizable frame count insertion. Thank you, Mikee. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. Like, I don't know if they've said, "Oh, don't worry, you can turn it off." I don't like, and obviously some developers can say, "No, we're just going to not do DLSS 5."
Well, it's not a developer thing, right? Can't a player at home just turn it on? Isn't that it's on the game right now?
I'm not sure.
I think the game would have to support it. I don't believe it.
Would have to support it, but
because otherwise, then they are just confirming that it is a filter over the top of things, and it has nothing to do with geometry because it would just be a filter over the game. But hey, you know, one of the things I'm worried about from an art perspective is the fact that this is going to take away a bunch of control from the artists in how they want to depict their characters. And I'm not just talking about visually in terms of the plumpness of Grace's lips and anything else, like, but also just like how it might interpret certain scars on people's faces or hair, or you know, how it might interpret some of their weird facial expressions. Like if they pull a weird face, is the data it's trained on going to be able to replicate that? As we saw with the kind of static, very still elven faces from Oblivion, we saw that it kind of struggled to do that. Right?
You're making a good point. So what happens then if like you're playing your game and there's an update to DLSS 5, there's an update to the game, and suddenly the scar now looks like, I don't know, an open wound or something, or the eyelid now looks like
it changes how you interpret the character, right?
Well, then the developers have to do something about it. Like they have to patch it.
About saying that the devs are in control. It's like, control of what? I just, you know, I'm more info, please. This is very early.
Yeah, that's also
it's all very, very early.
We should acknowledge that as like we don't fully know how it's going to work. Again, his answer was pretty ambiguous, and it was detrimentally so. He seemed to imply that devs can do it per project. They'll be able to point DLSS 5 in the directions and ways that they want. So that suggests to me that
Well,
right,
the
how
thing
would that
is,
work?
if
I don't
you
know.
change, if you alter how the elf face is modeled, right? You re-import the model and you change it to look more human. Technically, you have control.
Then fuck. Get that out, like, right? Like I don't want to.
If that's what they're kind of misconstruing,
right?
It would be ridiculous. Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is I don't like on the scales, I don't like where this technology has been placed. We have privilege, and then we have the poor, and it's been placed on the privilege side. It's been placed on you have to have a 10 grand plus computer to even have access to this thing at the moment. And I would love technology like this, like they did with DLSS 4. I think that's the one that does the frame interpretation.
Yeah.
Those things are trying to make things better for people who have maybe cheaper hardware and make it so that they can run modern games at a frame rate that is comparable to, higher end PCs. This technology is the complete opposite. It is this thing, unless you're using a cloud or have a really, really good computer, you will not have access to it. And there is a reality where we could have something like this where it could make games look better, but they're running at a way lower, how to explain it, like lower graphic quality. So it's just like the frames do when you're playing on high graphics and you're only getting 25 frames. Well, we can interpret between those frames and help you get 60. We could have people playing in low graphics and being like, well, with this new lighting system, we're actually kind of making it look like it might be in a higher fidelity graphical quality. But like, because it's so much of this is just like again, we don't fully know the details, but it seems like it's a massive post-processing thing. Once the frame is complete, it's then processing this on top of it. The computational like load for this just seems massive. So it's never going to be able to be used by cheaper hardware.
I feel like I want to bring in another industry. I feel like there's an observation to make here. But before I go on, Tina, was there anything you wanted to say about this this topic? Because I was going to go off on a little bit of a tangent.
Yeah, So as of now, when they say the dev have controls, I just don't understand what that means, because a gamer could just say, I want this on, and it's on whether the dev likes it or not, making the characters look different potentially, right? Or sexier, as like the example they used. But anyways, I wanted to get back to like actual use cases. I thought I brought up a couple during this stream that I thought of, like, an AI slop game that looks like crap. Like they're going to use this, and then that's how they promote their game. Like, oh, it looks better. Yeah. I could see a situation where maybe like you are a AAA game and you overblew your budget and time scope, and you can like use this feature to help with like cinematics at a later time or something. I don't know. Or like I could see cinematics using this. You record it, put in the game, and then your character looks like nicer and better, and your cinematics look a lot better, but you ran them in game, so then you're not paying for like an outsourced company like Blur to make all this stuff at I don't know how much they charge, but if you want to save like, on cinematics
in-engine, like real-time cutscenes, but I'll apply in the filter. Yeah,
like that could be cool. I could also see a situation where you are making your launch trailer. I mean, every like Battlefield trailer that's released for their game is running the craziest fucking hardware, right? So it's not going to be indicative of what most players may see, but I could see them, like using this on, and then it just looks like amazing. And you're like, holy crap, I want that. I mean, it's hard for me to, there's one thing that I feel bad about, which is I think it is NVIDIA's job to always have an excuse or a use case for the new future hardware, right? Mm-hmm. This is not so great. Not many people like this. They better go back to the drawing board and think of something else. I could see like TV and film industry that do animated shows or movies liking this feature. Maybe it saves them on hiring the real talent, maybe it brings them
maybe you like make background extras look better somehow, right? Or you make a part of
or the whole picture, right? Or the whole frame, and so you're not asking any person that's watching to use their hardware. It's already there and it's fine. Like I could see a use for that.
It's more usable in the film industry because
I think so.
Of how locked off the shots are.
Yes,
you can take AI and say color grade my movie to look like this, or add this into this scene. It may look like shit because the technology is not fully there yet, but you really start to open Pandora's box when you put it in a game, because the player has full control. Well, most of the time has full control, unless you're talking about cutscenes, as you mentioned, Tina.
Yeah.
Which there is a use case there. When you get into actual gameplay, the NVIDIA were very careful not to show any real gameplay movement. It was all baked. NPCs talking or NPCs stood in their idle animations or in a cutscene, like even in the FIFA stuff we were seeing cutscene stuff. It wasn't gameplay stuff. So these are all very cherry-picked examples of it looking at its best, and it still in a lot of cases look like shit, which means this in full motion gameplay is probably going to look like ass, and they know that. Like, they're working on it. So I just don't think this is going to come to general consumers, because I just don't think the technology's there. And it's just sad that NVIDIA are putting the money into trying to make this work rather than doing anything that would benefit actual, like, general consumers, not like the top 1%.
Well,
or
that's
like, you know,
that's a tough thing to say too, though, because we are in. I don't know. Okay, here's me playing devil's advocate. You're at NVIDIA. You're working on this feature, whether it's good or bad or whatever. Like, leave that aside. Maybe they started on this a couple years ago before the hardware massacre was going to transpire.
Oh, I'm sure they did. This seems like a really big undertaking, right?
Right. Yeah. I don't even think there's new graphics cards coming out this year. Anyways, you're working on this. Didn't realize that the par for the course is usually new graphics cards. Let's push people towards the new shit. Here's something that'll help that. I do think that the timing of this is not great. Right? People aren't going to be able to. Most people aren't going to upgrade their PCs for a little while. A lot of gamers and games aren't going to want to push fidelity, like we've said in previous podcasts, because people don't have the hardware. So again, I agree with you. This really doesn't benefit anybody except for the people that can afford this, which is probably major movie industries or
exactly
effects houses that do motion stuff for film and games and stuff, right? So but it is scary though to see as a developer that this technology is just at they're showing the very beginning of it, right?
Yeah.
This can just take a turn for the absolute worst because it's changing the way someone looks physically, and I think that's the scariest part.
Yeah, for sure. Terrifying. I'm scared. I've pissed myself.
Rest in peace, ugly people. You know what I mean?
Rest in peace, ugly people.
God damn it.
Mikey, Tina, do you have any final thoughts on where we'd like to see this go as devs, or can I go through some of the final donations?
I had a final one that's a little bit of a tangent. I had this kind of thought, we're talking all about this, and I'm thinking about when we were talking about DLSS 4, I was thinking about the evolution. Eric, no, I'm about to try to make it clear. Eric,
go girl.
Yeah,
it looks disgusting. I didn't like it on Tina either.
Come on.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, that's
put it on me.
No,
you gotta put it on the speaker. Sure. That's what I think.
Put it on Jay for now, and let's just see what he looks like.
I'll look pretty for you.
Oh my goodness, you look like a cat. Meow.
Meow.
You look like the Grinch.
Someone in the chat, actually, you're right. He looks like the Grinch. Look at his nose. He looks.
I'll steal a Christmas.
Very good. What was I saying? I feel like there's a problem in all technology and all hardware, right? That sometimes rears its head. And in this case, it's that kind of need for we have to innovate somehow, and nobody could think of a better idea, but we had to do something, as opposed to other technology, which is innovation brought about by a requirement, a need. Okay. And let me explain using something that I, as I guess a mill nerd would explain. So with DLSS 4, their solution was, their problem was, people are playing games and they have low frame rates, right? So why don't we try to improve their frame rates by using AI-driven tech or whatever, right? Do you guys know the M3 submachine gun, the grease gun from World War II?
Mm-hmm.
That gun was a problem-solving gun. It came out later in the war to replace our Thompson guns, right? The Chicago typewriters that were used in the 20s or 30s, I think. It was a lighter version.
I call
it was
it the
easier to
mass.
produce.
See,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, see? You get it. The idea here was like,
Yeah.
so the gun's too heavy, the Thompson's too heavy. It's hard to produce because it's got these wooden parts. What if we had a more machined gun? And they produced it, and it solved a specific need, right, that the military had. That's as opposed to something like DLSS 5, and some have criticized modern rifles where the M4, the weapon that we use now, is getting replaced by the XM7, which a lot of people have issue with because it feels like it's just trying to address a problem that doesn't really exist of overmatch, right? And like defeating certain armor, but also like sacrificing magazine size and also like having a weapon that is bigger and unwieldy and heavier bullets. That's what DLSS 5 feels like to me. It's like in the past with 4, we had, okay, we're solving the problem of frame generation. We're trying to make things better for gamers. Here, we're not trying to make things better for gamers. We're just like doing something because we were supposed to do something. We were supposed to invent something new. And that's the parallel that I draw, is like, maybe this just happens when we can't think of a better idea, but also when the tech has progressed to a point where like the returns are so diminished, which some would argue is true with small arms development. So that's what I'm kind of seeing here.
That's a great comparison. One that will make a lot of sense with our FPS audience. So
there's maybe a 2% of the audience right now watching. Comment if you do, that are like, oh, I totally get it, Mikey. You're totally right. Fuck the XM7 or whatever it is.
I hate that fucking gun.
The reason I'm making this is not just because I'm a mill nerd. It's because like this is not a problem unique to gaming, I think, is the important point here. What we're 100%. Seeing, I think, is sort of an executive. It's not just executive creative. It's like industry created. It's a problem outside of any specific experience level, outside of any specific industry. It's a problem with innovation. Sometimes just like you need more time to think of a better thing, or the tech actually needs to be better, and the AI tech is not good enough to warrant this. That's what I'm basically getting at.
For sure.
2 people.
All right, do you know anything? Or
thank you, Harmony. Thank you, Keeper.
I feel like the TV and film industry are really encroaching on the gaming industry, really utilizing our tech and what we're doing just because of the fidelity is there now. And I feel like this NVIDIA feature is probably better for Hollywood than it is for gamers. And I just wonder how much of that is going to hurt the devs in the long run, because you kind of see it now with like the Unreal Engine. A lot of the features that are there that are on. Yeah,
you have to turn them off.
Yeah, or for like, you know, the TV show that you like. You love The Mandalorian, like, you know. I don't know. It's just interesting. I feel like a lot of the gamers' needs may not line up with like big Hollywood bigwigs, and so I don't know if the bigwigs in the movie industry are the ones in the driver's seat now.
Yeah, that sucks. I'm not laughing at you. It's just
no, it's fine. I'm looking at the memes. It's just a general statement that I don't know. I was just thinking of out loud.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, Tina. I interrupted you. I really apologize.
No, not at all.
JC Denton from the year 2000 in Deus Ex 1 with DLSS 4, and then switched on. It was Steven Seagal.
We're going to have Steven Seagal films for the rest of our lives because they're going to use DLSS.
What if Steven Seagal was the star of Deus Ex 1? Okay, so here's my hope for AI. We can remake Deus Ex 1, but it's with Steven Seagal's likeness and voice, and he's playing through the whole game.
Well, if he passes away, that might be a possibility. Do you see what they're doing to Val Kilmer?
Wait,
he was meant to star in a film in 2020, but he passed away before he could do it, and the movie is recreating him totally with AI.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was happening. I know about him dying, and I thought they used AI in that scene with him in Top Gun Maverick, I think, to like help his voice or generate his voice. I'm not sure.
Times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I know it happened in that Star Wars movie. Like it's not a totally new thing. Sorry, I don't mean to not acknowledge.
I'm gonna move on to Donos.
Harrison Ford's face in the last Indiana Jones.
Oh my god, I liked all the de-aging on the Harrison Ford's early scene. That was probably my favorite part of the movie. Anyway,
Donos.
Murasaki gives $10 and says, this seems like it would make quality control a lot harder because who really has a grip on exactly what will trigger an AI hallucination? Extra fingers and nostrils, tans become presidential orange. Yeah, etc. Yeah, that's a huge issue. I was thinking about motion a lot, and I was thinking about AI dealing with fast motion heads. So like when your head is face on, it can. You noticed in a lot of these shots that they were showing you, everyone was facing the camera. But like when you move and NPCs move, there's a lot of like side face action, right? If you then get a frame of like what that the AI sees a blurry face turning, and it goes, oh, I can kind of see eyes and I can kind of see a mouth, and it just like puts another face like in between its head. Like I can see some huge issues with all.
What's
of that,
gonna happen to the woman in Total Recall that has the 3 boobs? Is DLSS 5 gonna remove one? I don't know.
It's gonna make them all bigger, Tina, and her lips bigger.
They're all gonna get bigger, and her lips.
It's gonna make her head a boob too, so she has 4 boobs.
Yeah, she's just a walking breast.
Eric got a picture of the woman with 3 boobs in Total Recall up
That's so
right
fast.
away. Thank you,
Yeah,
Eric.
he's
wow.
Eric's
And he
Eric's
even
the
got it
fastest
in a
the
YouTube
West.
friendly way
Cropped.
because we can't.
Yeah, he got it
see her
cropped.
nipple.
He's a pimp.
Bravo, dude.
Mirith D gives $2. Hello, Mirith, and says, "Does this make sense to do in real time?"
I think it is.
No,
real time,
not in
no?
games.
I mean, that's what
Well,
Well, it has to be. Games are in real time. It has to be.
real time.
But it doesn't. Right now, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
I see what they're
doesn't.
saying. Yeah. No, it doesn't. I don't think it improves it. It already has to be real time, and
It would.
no,
It would
it's the same
benefit
problem.
cinematics right now.
Yeah.
As of right now, it would benefit cinematics in game.
And when we say benefit cinematics, and I agree with that, that does not mean I think it should be used. I just think I could see them being like, yeah, this can actually benefit us. This can help us. But not like real-time game stuff, unfortunately. Mikhail Hudson's our throne, $5 Thank you so much. Says, maybe it's my UE5 utility brain, but I see it doing pretty well for architecture and automotive static renders and fly-throughs for advertising. Yeah, anything that works in stuff that is repeatable and static and stuff like that. And when I say static, I don't mean the camera isn't moving. I mean, from beginning to end, it is the same shot. You can run it through the AI training repeatedly and make it look however you want. So yes, it will have applications there, but I think this is specifically for real-time rendering at the end as a product rather than just an AI filter for making things look shinier. Murray, the demonic skull, gives 20 Canadian dollars. Thank you so much, bud. Says, I work in tech, not gaming. And Claude has been exceptional at writing large code projects. I must provide prompts and yeah, you did say exceptional. I must provide prompts and instructions, but the result works with the limits of programming languages. No human art or copyright work used. So you're using an AI tool to help write large code projects in the tech industry. Yeah, like the thing is, we say this repeatedly here. I have a very strong stance against AI. I would even say I'm very volatile towards AI. I do not blanketly think it's bad in all cases, right? I think there are sectors of work that it can be used to help. And there's specific sections of specific artistic jobs that can be leveraged with AI to help create, give them the tools to create art, take away some of the mundanity of it. And it seems like that's what you've got here. I'm not a coder, so I wouldn't know specifically, but I'm glad to hear that you're getting some positive results out of it.
On that note, I did want to mention that something happened recently where a woman posted on Blue Sky what her idea was for a game. It was like a Tetris thing, but the Tetris cube thing moved with like whenever you put something on it, it kind of like get lopsided. Yeah. Anyways, like even Tim Schafer said it was cool, but I brought this up because someone stole her idea, used Claude AI slop, made a version of her game. And it's I just want any devs listening out there to know that when you share any sort of idea that you may have, even at the beginnings of it, it's dangerous now because someone may just take it and run with it.
That was always an issue, but it's even more now because even someone with very little skill can recreate your stuff.
Well, I mean, I guess like if other devs are doing it, there's still like some sort of leeway time, right? Like a developer has to make it and publish it.
Yeah, you're saying the stealing can happen faster, which is fair.
Because of Claude.
Yeah.
And other AI programs.
Yeah, that sucks. That sucks.
We got
John.
more.
Yeah, John. Hi, Raya. I'm sorry, bud. Thanks for the $10. I appreciate you. In my humble opinion, NVIDIA. Sorry, it's in caps. In my humble opinion, NVIDIA is just pandering to the shareholders. They are making the numbers go up. Hopefully, DLSS 5 is just a way to add value, whatever that is, to their product. Yeah, I can dig that. That's their job, right? Like, we're doing things. We're working. Do you need to leave to now?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I have something at 12 for the PGA. I love you guys.
No worries. You do it. Bye-bye. See you soon.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
We're going to finish off the... Oh, look how quick Eric was in that transition.
Eric, your transitions are phenomenal. Eric,
he's on fire.
If you were playing Metal Gear Solid 5 and you went over and you knocked out a guy and it was Eric and you viewed his stats, he would be S+++, and you would Fulton his ass right back to Mother Base. That is the level of competency. Straight 100%. Down the line, all of his stats. Thank you, Eric.
100%. John, sorry to interrupt your dono. Yeah, you're right. It's these jobs. It's their jobs to make the number go up, and this is what Mikee was saying. They're creating work for themselves because maybe they reached a point where they don't know what to do next, and this also pleases all of their AI investor friends. So that's what this is. None of this is for gamers. And it's a shame, but that's what they're doing. That's what big companies do.
It is a shame. Sorry, I'm laughing because King Dead said MGLSS 5 because of my Metal Gear Solid 5 reference.
Oh yeah. Saucy Guru. Saucy Guru 2K gives €5 and says, I suppose the filter could/should be applied before all the post-processing, and you could use object IDs to mask it. Yeah, there's like, you could potentially use like stencils to mask it. That's something I've done with a lot of post-processing stuff in the game I'm working on, like stenciling out specific objects within the material ID to make it not have that post-processing effect happen to it. But that's whether this happens before, during, or after the post-processing. Again, I even think stenciling or masking out specific objects from this kind of AI filter would drastically change how much computational power it would require. Because it's not just looking at the 2D scene, it's as a 2D plane, it's looking at a 3D depth and removing sections from it and masking, and that's just like asking so much from it. So I agree with you. Everything you're suggesting there is exactly what I think it probably should be doing, but I don't think it does. Or maybe it does, and I'm talking out my arse. We'll have to see because we don't know much about it at the moment.
And I don't
information
know.
Coming out every day.
Yeah, we should keep saying that. You're right. It's like we don't fully know how this is supposed to work. As we keep saying, the CEO's answer was ambiguous, right? I think that we need to see, but from what I understand, I don't know if it would resolve all the other issues that we're talking about here.
For sure. And always play for fun. $5 says, yes, Sig Spear, M4 is fine. Kudos to Mikee for accurate gun knowledge.
Yay. I always feel, because I know I try to not lean too much into like, the niche of games that I developed and that I like. If you want to learn more about the thing that I was talking about, Eric, I'm going to send you a couple of links. I pulled these up. This is a guy, a modern tactical shooting on YouTube. A lot of gun YouTubers can be a little annoying or obnoxious or just like too esoteric even. This guy does a really good breakdown in these two videos of like the problem that we're talking about, of like why this new thing doesn't solve a problem. And then he goes on to say, here's the problems that we could be solving in a more recent one. He's awesome. He's a Green Beret and he's a big skater, Jay. You might like that about him. Take a look at the thumbnail or the. Why
do you think I skate?
Why do I think you skate? Oh no! Did I offend you by? Are you your shirt? Your fucking band shirt.
I'm a poser. I haven't skated for years.
Oh, but you did
I used
skate.
to
You're
skate,
passionate
though.
about skating.
Yeah, I love skating.
Remember when we played Skate?
I do remember that. That was great fun. It's a shame. It's a shame what they did to that game.
Yeah. Anyway, I appreciate
we
the
can't go
compliment.
into that
Thank
stuff.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me
everyone.
if we're too esoteric.
No, never. Everyone in chat, thank you so much for being here and giving us your wonderful donos. Fucking amazing. You guys have really shown out today to talk about this. Thank you so much for your wonderful input. I think we're all kind of in agreement on all of this. At the end of the day, we as devs could see some potential applications, but we're not really confident that they will ever get to that point. And it'd be really interesting to hear your consumer point. So if you didn't have a chance to say, let's say you're listening right now or watching, if you want to give your input, you can either do that in the comments below, or you can also go to the Discord. We have a DevHeads chat in there and we read it all the time. And if you guys want to share your point of view or ask us a question, just message us over there. But yeah, from me, Mikey, Tina's not here, but Tina and Eric doing the wonderful behind work. Whoa! Thank you so much for watching, guys. We appreciate you. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye-bye, everybody.